Hello, my friends. I am so glad you are here for this journey today. Find a comfortable spot, relax, breathe, and let the story begin. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be a nobody? Imagine a small boy. He has no shoes. His clothes are dirty. He is hungry every day. He sits alone in the cold gray streets of London. He has nothing, no money, no home, no future. This boy was born with nothing, but he had a secret. He had a dream, and one day this poor, lonely boy became the most famous face on earth. Everyone in every country knew his name. They laughed with him. They cried with him. This is the incredible zero-to-hero journey of Charlie Chaplin. Charlie was born in London in 1889. London at that time was a very difficult place for poor people. The air was full of smoke. The streets were wet and dark. Charlie's family had no money for a real home. His father, Charles Sr., was a singer, but he left the family when Charlie was a baby. Charlie's mother, Hannah, was also a singer. She was kind and beautiful. Charlie loved her very much. Hannah tried to take care of Charlie and his brother Sidney. She sang in small, loud theaters, but she did not earn much money. Sometimes Hannah could not work at all. She became very sick. Her voice stopped working. Without her voice, she could not sing. Without singing, there was no money for food. The family became very poor. They moved from house to house. Sometimes they slept on the cold streets. When Charlie was only 7 years old, something terrible happened. His mother became very sick. She could not think clearly anymore. The government took her to a hospital for sick people. Charlie and Sidney were alone. They had no parents to protect them. They were sent to a workhouse. A workhouse was a very bad place for poor children. It was like a prison. The children had to work hard every day from morning until night. They cleaned floors. They washed dirty clothes. They got very little food. The rooms were cold and the beds were hard as stone. Charlie hated the workhouse. He felt alone. He felt ashamed. Other children laughed at his old shoes and his dirty clothes. He missed his mother's smile every day. Life was a dark prison. But even in this dark time, something magical happened. Charlie discovered a secret power inside himself. He learned that he could make people laugh. When the other poor boys were sad and hungry, Charlie made funny faces. He walked in a silly way. He told jokes with his body. The boys laughed. For a moment, they forgot their hunger. They forgot their sadness. They felt alive. This was a massive discovery for Charlie. He felt important for the first time. He felt a light inside him. He realized that a laugh can be a powerful thing. A laugh can bring light to the darkest place. Years passed. Charlie left the workhouse. He worked many small jobs. He was a newsboy, a printer, a doctor's helper. But he never forgot his dream. He wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be on a stage. One day, when he was a teenager, he walked into a small theater. The manager looked at him. "Can you act, boy?" he asked. Charlie did not answer with words. He acted with his body. He walked like an old man. Then he pretended to fall. The manager laughed. "You have talent, boy. You can start tomorrow." This was Charlie's first real job in a theater. The small light was growing into a flame. Charlie has a stage, but a giant ocean is waiting. Can he find fame in a new world? In 1910, Charlie made a big decision. He wanted a new life. He wanted bigger dreams. He got on a massive steamship. The ship was leaving England. It was going to America. The journey was long and scary. The sea was big and blue. Charlie stood on the deck and watched the water. He felt small, like that little boy on the London streets. But he also felt excited. America was the land of possibility. It was a place where a nobody could become a somebody. When Charlie arrived in New York, everything was different. The buildings were taller than any house in London. The streets were wider. The people moved faster. Everything was bigger, louder, and brighter. It was a new world, a world of energy and dreams. Charlie began to act in American theaters. He traveled across the country. American people loved his movements. A man named Mack Sennett saw Charlie. Mack owned a film studio in Hollywood, California. In those days, movies were silent. Silent means there is no talking, only pictures and music. Mack saw something special in Charlie. "I want you to be in my movies," Mack said. Charlie had never made a movie before. He did not understand how a camera works. He was nervous. His hands were shaking. But he wanted this chance. He wanted to try. Charlie went to the movie studio. He walked into the costume room. He looked at all the clothes. He wanted to create a new character. He wanted something funny, but also human. He wanted a character that people would remember. Charlie looked in the mirror. He began to pick clothes. First, he picked a pair of giant pants. They were too big for him. Then he picked tiny, small shoes. They were too small. He found a small bowler hat and a bamboo cane. A cane is a stick for walking. Finally, he put on a small mustache. He looked in the mirror again. He didn't see Charlie anymore. He saw a new person. He saw the Tramp. The Tramp was a very complex person. He was poor, but he was a gentleman. He was sad, but he was funny. He was weak, but he was brave. The Tramp was a zero, but he had the heart of a hero. Charlie walked onto the movie set as the Tramp. The other actors stopped. The director stopped. They looked at his silly clothes. Then they started to laugh. The Tramp was perfect. The camera started to turn. Action! Charlie began to move. He did not talk, but his body told a story. He moved smoothly, like water. He was fast. He was funny. He could make a whole room laugh with just one movement of his eye. The world had never seen anything like him. The silent boy from London now had a world that was ready to listen. The Tramp was a global success. People in America loved him. People in Europe loved him. People in Asia and Africa loved him. They did not need to know English. They only needed to watch. They understood the Tramp's problems. Everyone knew what it felt like to be poor. Everyone knew what it felt like to struggle. Charlie became very rich and very successful. He was no longer the poor boy with no shoes. He owned his own film studio. He wrote his own stories. He directed his own movies. He made famous movies like The Kid and The Gold Rush. In every movie, the Tramp helped the weak people. He fought against the strong bad people. He showed the world that a kind heart is more important than money. Charlie Chaplin was now the king of the cinema, the most famous man on earth. Charlie has the world at his feet, but the world is changing. A new war is coming. Can the Tramp stop it with his voice? For many years, Charlie was silent. But the world was not silent. A shadow was spreading across Europe. A powerful dictator, Adolf Hitler, was taking power. He wanted war. He wanted to control everything. Hitler also had a small mustache, just like the Tramp. Charlie watched the news. He saw people suffering. He saw the world becoming loud with anger and hate. Charlie decided that he could not be silent anymore. He needed to use his fame for a good purpose. He wanted to send a message of peace to the world. He decided to make a new movie, but this time he would use his voice. In 1940, Charlie made The Great Dictator. This movie was a bold and dangerous act. America was not at war yet. Many powerful people did not want Charlie to make this movie. They said it was too political. They said it would cause problems. But Charlie did not stop. He believed this movie was important. In the movie, Charlie played two characters. One was a cruel dictator, like Hitler. The other was a kind Jewish barber, very similar to the Tramp. Charlie used humor to fight hate. He made people laugh at the dictator. He showed that a dictator is not a god. He is just a silly, angry man with a big ego. At the end of the movie, the kind barber has a chance to speak to the world. Charlie stood behind many microphones. He looked directly at the camera. He did not act as a character. He spoke as Charlie Chaplin, a human being. He gave a massive emotional speech. He did not talk about war or power. He spoke about freedom, kindness, and humanity. He told people, "We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery." He told soldiers, "Don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty." His voice was strong and beautiful. It was the voice of peace. The Great Dictator was a huge success, but it also made Charlie many enemies. After the war, Charlie left America to visit Europe. While he was away, the American government did not want him to return. They said he was dangerous. They said he was against America. Charlie was shocked. He had lived in America for 40 years. He had made his greatest movies there. Now they were closing the door. Charlie was hurt and angry, but he did not give up. He moved to Switzerland with his family. He lived in a large, beautiful house near a blue lake. He had a big family, love, and peace. He continued to make movies, but his heart missed Hollywood. He missed his friends. He missed the place where he became a legend. In 1972, something amazing happened. America remembered its love for Charlie Chaplin. The Academy Awards invited him back to give him a special award. After 20 long years, Charlie returned to Hollywood. He was an old man now, 83 years old. He walked slowly onto the stage. He was small and thin. His hair was white as snow. When people saw him, they did not sit. The whole room stood up. They clapped for a long time. Some people cried. Charlie stood there and looked at everyone. He did not speak a long speech. He only said, "Thank you. Thank you so much." That night was healing. America remembered the joy he gave them. They remembered the tramp. They forgot the politics. Charlie Chaplin died peacefully in Switzerland in 1977. His life had come full circle. He started with nothing, and he gave the world everything. His stories will never die. Charlie Chaplin was a boy from the dirty streets of London with almost no formal education. He grew up in poverty and sadness, but he never stopped learning. He never stopped trying to improve himself. He believed in hard work. He believed in honesty, and he believed in treating all people with respect. These beliefs guided his entire incredible journey. His story teaches us something vital. Your beginning does not determine your end. You can start with nothing. You can face massive problems, but if you follow your dream, if you work hard, if you never give up, you can achieve greatness. You can touch millions of hearts. You can become immortal through your art. Thank you for listening to this story today, my friends. I hope Charlie Chaplin's life inspired you to keep learning and growing. Every story is a chance to grow. Every story is a chance to improve. Until our next journey, take care, be kind to others, and keep walking forward on your learning adventure. I will see you soon with another story. Goodbye for now.